Hey everyone, this is Keyblader007 and this is a new tips and tricks video I like to call Dealing with Defense. So in this video I'm going to be showcasing some different builds that break through the egg enemy's defense and how many defense downs or strength ups or GAU ups or general defense downs for the terminology from now on it takes to actually do real damage to these egg guys, as well as break through Coliseum's high defenses. So we're going to start out with the VIP XP and Evolved Metal Power Mission, because these have a ton of egg guys. And egg guys, they're all pretty equal in their defenses. It just multiple hits usually take to kill them, and no matter what attack you do, it's only going to usually deal one. But we're finding out ways around that now. So on this first build, I'm using the Counterpoint. This is Sebastian with a strength up or GAU up of 3 that's general attack up. And this is a general defense down 1. But it has extra on it, so I can use it twice. So that's 2 general defense downs. Let's see what happens when I target some egg guy. Alright, so we're going to strength up, deals 1. Defense down once, deals 1. Now defense down twice, we do 701 damage, which means it took 2 defense downs and a strength up 3 to break through this egg guy's defense. And I am on a blue slot with a blue metal against power enemies, so that may take effect if you match up the colors right. So let's move on to our next test right now and start this over. Alright, now we have a GAU up 3 metal, Sebastian, and another GAU up 3 metal. So that's GAU 6, which is going to be what iKairi 0.2, the new one that's coming out eventually, that's already out in Japan, does in one hit. And we know that metal can kill egg guys, because usually fixed damage always kills egg guys like iKairi or iKairi KH2 version, which was the one we all recently got. Let's see how this fares. So there's GAU up 3, so you have a sword up 3, and GAU 6 also has the power to murder the defense of these little egg guys. So let's try another test right now. Alright, now we're doing XP and Evolve Magic. I have this little build here. Sebastian has GAU up, Owl has general defense down 1, no extra on it. Meg has general defense down 1 for single target and extra, and you already know Smee has general defense down 1 with extra for AoE. Shared metal doesn't matter. So we're doing magic because we wanted to see if the type made a difference in the other test. So let's take this guy for example. We do up 3, down 1, still 1, down 2, down 3. As you saw, it took 5 general defense downs with the up 3 to actually deal actual damage besides the 1-1-1-1-1 to the egg guy. Yes, these guys also die in 5 hits, but it's just 1-1-1-1-1. So either way it would have died on that last attack, but you actually saw damage being dealt. So let's try another test. So now we're going to go to a speed because I'm going to show you what ground enemy defense trait actually can do. This trait is very immaculate. I think it's probably the strongest trait next to air enemy defense, and if you have both of those on an offensive only metal, it's going to be insane. So what this does is it breaks through the defense of the egg guys, and it also works in Coliseum very well, better than double cast or extra attack. One thing I noticed is you have to have it lined up in the proper slot, like this is in the reverse blue slot, to take full advantage of what it can do. So wait, and you see, just by tapping, it dealt full damage. So we'll try a swipe. Even the swipe did it. And let's see, she does 3 hits, so that's not even enough to kill one of these guys. But because of her ground enemy defense, she murders every single one of them. And even the big boss, who usually has the most health, and this is on the wrong color, we're on speed, when that's weak against magic, so that proves it works. But again, it needs to have the color slot filled in. Alright, so let's do another test. For this test, we're going to be using the Stroke of Midnight on the Magic Legendary build. It has the double cast Megara and the double cast Smee, that's general defense down 4, and it has just a random single target metal in a blue slot. So that proves it's misaligned, so it's weakened, but it is green against blue. So we're going to see if the Mickey can do more damage after up and downing all the guys. But we need to do this on the target enemy, so we're going to fast forward or just cut to the target enemy. Alright, we're at the target enemy now, so remember this guy usually takes 12 single hits to kill. We're going to up 3, general defense down 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the reason I'm doing this is because last time we general defense down 5 with this strategy, so I'm going to see if 5 we don't need to go that far. And we'll use this. And you see it actually did damage, which proves you don't need to general defense down 5, but you can go up to 4, and the 5th attack will be hitting at normal damage. Alright, now we're in the power legendary, and we're going to try that again because it's a green metal, which goes opposite to power, which is weaker, so we'll see if it still applies. And remember, it is in a blue slot, so it's even further weakened. And we still deal damage, proving my hypothesis correct. And now for this test, we're going to try general defense down 3 by not using one of Megara's specials, just to see if we could still do that kill damage. So we're going to skip that one. And it's dealt only 1 damage, proving you need general defense down 4 with general attack up 3 minimum to do actual damage to these egg guys. Our next test involves the power again. We're going to use my Key Art 5 because it has ground enemy defense. And we're misaligning the slot on purpose. This time we want to use the special to kill it to prove that if you use a special with a general defense down, it will work. So we're going to fast forward to the target because it deals 6 hits. That's enough to kill pretty much any egg guy except for the target. Alright, here we are at the target. Now if I tap or swipe, it'll only deal 1, even with minus 60% ground enemy. But if I use the special, it destroys it, proving how effective that trait really is. And for the final test of the egg guys, we're going to be using Xion again, this time in a non-reverse slot because it's an upright slot, which means it only has a 1.10 power. We're going to try to use the special like we did with Key Art to see if we could break through the defensive barrier. And remember, she only deals 3 hits, so we could attack any egg guy. Now, it only dealt 1 hit per. Do you know why that is? The reason is because my hypothesis, she is a tier 4 metal versus the Key Art, which is a tier 5. Also, the tier 5 is gilded a little higher, so strength does take into effect. And maybe Chippendailing her might have an effect too, so we're going to try that right now. So let's stop this and come back. So just to prove she has no Chippendales, and we're going to give her a little more power. So now she's max Chippendaled. Let's see if that affects anything because her guilt is almost at max. We're trying the same mission again now that she's post Chippendaled. First we'll try a tap. Tap did not work. Let's try a special. And the Chippendale actually did make a difference. So because she's still in a magic slot, and she's a powerful tier 4 metal, if you have too low of a strength, it will not do anything even with the general ground defense. But if you have a high enough strength, or like an STR 1000 type of boost on it, it will definitely help you break through to do its damage. And yes, this is a general defense down metal, but it doesn't make a difference because it has negative 60% ground enemy defense. Right, let's move on to Coliseum. Okay, here we are at Coliseum. I'm in tier 14. And as you know, it has high defense this time around. I'm in round 62, so it's pretty damn high compared to where a lot of you might be stuck, so this really does apply. First, I'm going to show you what a normal me strategy does with no minus 60%. This is Morningstar and Large Body, level 632. My general strategy is to up 3. I don't have extra or any traits on this. I have AoE extra on this, and this is also not guilted. So these are basically just the general defense down 4, because you need to get at least down to 4 to do any damage with anything else. So these are my 2 attacking metals, which just have simple boost traits. So this is a large body. It has +9. Everything you see is going to do 1, 1, 1, and metals gilded don't even matter. As you saw, like my Bell and Beast was gilded, still did 1. So not until you get to 4 do you start seeing actual damage happen. Basically, getting them down to 4 breaks the damage into what I like to say normal amounts almost. As you saw, that was an epic fail. But now we're going to try this same mission again with a few metals that have -60%. Of course, ground and air both affects this. Now, to prove how effective this really is, this is ground enemy defense. This is ungilded and has ground enemy defense. This is ground enemy and aerial enemy defense, which is the ideal. Ground enemy defense. And this doesn't have either one, so we'll see if this can even do damage. And this is speed attacking power enemies. First off, you see it's already not 1. An ungilded metal. Every one of these has hit damage now. This metal, however, does not have -60% defense for air or ground. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So I think we've been focusing on the wrong traits. Extra is great, but enemy defense is much better. If you have a combination of extra and -60% defense, preferably ground because that's the average, it's probably amazing, because the only time you really need extra is when you have a status metal like that does up attack, down defense, up PSM, down PSM, stuff like that. Extra is 40% extra damage, true, but when you have enemies with high defense, even if you hit extra, unless you have all those buffs and debuffs, like you saw in my first test in Coliseum, it does nothing. Absolutely nothing. But if you have your -60% defenses, it's great. And on an offensive only metal like Halloween Thor, if I had -60% air and ground, that metal would be amazing. So that is my tips and tricks video for dealing with defense. Hopefully this helps you out in Coliseum and just overall in general, because I haven't seen anyone make any video about this trait or getting through the egg defense. Just normally people would just hit them a lot of times or use a fixed damage attack like iKairi. So I bid you adieu until next time, guys. Peace.